Good morning. Ken Hovind here at Genesis Baptist Church in Lenox, Alabama, and Dinosaur Adventureland. We're the folks who believe the Bible is true and evolution is the dumbest religion in the world. Prove me wrong, okay? We're on a bunch of different channels. We're on Facebook, Rumble, X, our own app, Ken Hovind TV, Instagram, TikTok. Sign up for all of them. Come visit us. It's all free. 20,936 days now, Joseph, destroying the silly evolution religion. Now, this morning's show is going to probably agitate a few folks. You might want to shut it off right now. Go ahead, shut it off. Okay. For the rest of you, we're straight north of Pensacola, 70 miles in Lenox, Alabama, right off the Interstate 65. Good luck finding Lenox. There it is, right there. Oh, it disappeared. No, there it is. No, there it is. Okay. Not too far from Repton, Alabama. Come join us for a breakfast, lunch, dinner. It's all free. We have cabins you can spend. We got a bunch of visitors, Russian, Ukrainian, and Moldovan visitors. What a group. About 30 of them came. I got to say another tour at 10 o'clock, a bunch more today. We have fun in the Jeeps. Come on down. It's all front. It's all free. Here we are, June the 12th, 2026. Starting next July 1st, a couple weeks from now, having our creation boot camp. Come on down. Oh, did Rich Vanderberg get a hold of you?
No.
You got his number?
Yeah, I got it.
He's going to try to save up money to come. He said, can I get to speak one time? He's got starting his new ministry.
Yeah, he's doing good, man.
Put him in there, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We're open for free because people support us. We don't charge anything. Come drdino.com if you want to support us. 10 years. So I got to thinking. I wrote a book. What on earth? Let's see. Let me get some. Oh, here he is. No. Right here. I did a book called What on Earth is About to Happen, for Heaven's Sake. A series on that, the chart behind me. Also did a whole series. Why on earth did God let this happen, for heaven's sake? I got on a roll about this. What are we doing for heaven's sake when I was in prison? I got to think, people are asking, Brother Hovind, what's the purpose of your ministry? What on earth are you trying to do, for heaven's sake? Well, fair question. We're trying to share the gospel with the world like Jesus commanded us to do, go into all the world and preach the gospel. We're defending the accuracy of God's word about creation and the flood. The Bible says that scoffers are ignorant of the creation and the flood, and we're trying to defend that against all comers. And we're trying to expose the lies that are used to supposedly support the dangerous and ridiculous evolution religion. So, lie number one, the universe is not billions of years old. It can't be for lots of reasons. See my video number 1 for more on that. Scientific reasons to show the earth is not billions of years old. Lie number 2, no plant or animal has ever been observed to produce offspring other than their same kind. You might get a variety, but how many varieties of sheep are there? I meant to look that up, Joseph. How many varieties of sheep? Guy came the other day, was a sheep farmer from someplace, Canada. He said, oh, you got called the name of the sheep we got. I don't know. It's a bunch. But these charts that they use and say that everything's related, this is pure propaganda. This is a propaganda poster. There's not a shred of science behind any of this. If you believe this, you got brainwashed. 5 or 6 recognized species of wild sheep and the single species of domesticated sheep. I think they all taste the same, don't they?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I don't know. So whatever we got them, right? Still didn't get a sheep shearer, though. If you just want to come share the sheep for us, please do. No plant or animal has ever been observed. This chart is nothing but artwork with lines on paper. That's all. And if you believe this is true, you have a great faith. But don't call it science. We're trying to get this out of the textbooks. Yeah, they shouldn't be teaching that. We think the layers of the earth are not different ages. How can they be? That is a lie that you've been taught, and it spreads around the world. It's not. How can they be different ages? Lie number 4. No fossil counts as evidence for evolution. No fossils. How could they? When you find fossils in the ground, all you could prove is it died. You cannot prove it had any children. Can you? You certainly couldn't prove it had children that lived, and you couldn't prove it had children that lived that were different. And you couldn't prove it had children that lived that were different that found a mate that was also different and were able to pass that gene on to everybody else after them. It's just a fairy tale religion, nothing more. And you're welcome to it. But don't make all of us pay to have that taught in the school system. Lie number 5. None of the so-called cavemen are evidence for evolution. None of them. There's people today living in caves, okay? The Neanderthal man, Piltdown man, they've all been exposed as hoaxes, frauds, misidentified, or fully human or fully ape. It could be something that's gone extinct. If an animal started to evolve halfway to a human and then they all died, it'd be extinct, a dead end. See, it's just not science, folks. Number 6, there are no gill slits on the embryo that are used as evidence for evolution. So what are we trying to do, Hovind? I'd like to get all tax-funded schools and museums to stop using lies to support their stupid religion of evolution and publish a retraction. If they're getting tax money, all the schools, all the museums should put up a big sign. We're sorry, folks. For 74 years, we taught, the Earth is billions of years old. This cannot be proven scientifically. We're sorry. We're not going to teach it anymore. Yeah, why not? Now, if they don't want to do that, well, stop taking tax money and do whatever you want with your own private money. You can teach whatever you want with your private funds. They don't want to do that, though. They couldn't make it. I want one by one to remove the lies from the textbooks. Just take them out. They're teaching the kids that the embryo growing in the mother has gill slits. Let's go to this one here. Right. Embryology. In here somewhere. Where was it? I just had it. Gills. There we go. This textbook. Merrill, an earth science book, for heaven's sake. What's an earth science book teaching about gill slits on the embryo for? Okay. Evolution, evidence for evolution, has come from studying the embryos of organisms of different species. Really. They're saying the embryo growing in the mother has gills like a fish. This was proven. This is line number 12 of my video number 4, lies in the textbooks. Proven wrong in 1874. I think that's time to get it out of the books, okay? Gill slits. Evidence for evolution, embryology, Khan Academy. Hey, does Khan Academy get tax funding? See if you can find out. Khan. Does Khan Academy get tax funding to support their lies? They're saying embryology is evidence for evolution. They're either stupid or they're lying. There's no other choice. Because it's not true, that's for sure.
501c.
It's a 501c3 organization? Okay. Okay, evidence of evolution. Libra texts, biology Libra texts, okay. Embryology. How does embryology provide evidence for evolution? Sciencing.com. They're still teaching it. Similarities in embryo, New England Complex Systems Institute. The study of one type of evidence of evolution is called embryology. They're still teaching it. Let's see, who's this got a teaching it? NCBI, I forgot who that is. They're teaching embryology. Let's see. EXPI.com is teaching embryology. Here's a Heath biology textbook on my shelf over there. Evolution, evidence from development. The similarity between early stages and development helped convince Darwin that all forms of life shared common ancestors. This is just simply lies. Darwin considered this by far the strongest single class of facts in favor of his theory. Haeckel called it the biogenetic law. Now, this is in 1859. A few years later, it's proven wrong, but they're still teaching it in textbooks today. Ontogeny recapitulates phylogeny. That's a fancy phrase. Ontogeny is the stages of growth that a baby goes through inside the mother. Phylogeny is the evidence of changing from an amoeba to a human. The presence of fish-like structures in embryos of different species shows these animals have evolved from fish. It's as if the embryo retains a memory of its origin and starts to copy them during its development. The evolutionary idea that sick mind Freud relied on is the maxim ontogeny recapitulates phylogeny. That is, the development of the individual recapitulates the evolution of the entire species. Let's see. Here we have gill slits on the embryo. An earth science book, no less. Line number 12. These bones these folds of skin under the chin of the baby growing develop into bones in the ear and glands in the throat, thyroid, etc. They never have anything to do with breathing. Never. I've seen fat folks with 5 or 6 chins. They can't breathe through any of them but the top one. Now, Joseph, Bill Clinton was known for womanizing. I can give him a little slack and understand why. Can you? Maybe. Those are not gill slits on the Roadster. Ernst Haeckel said the turning point in his thinking was when he read Darwin's book. Here we got the problem. Darwin wrote this book origin of species by means of natural selection or the preservation of favored races in the struggle for life. Haeckel read the book and said, wow, this is what I've been hoping for, a way to get rid of God and still claim to be smart. By 1868, many evolutionists were worried about the lack of evidence for Darwin's theory. Darwin's theory came out, no evidence. So some people started to make some. Ernst Haeckel was one of them. The fraud began in 1868, so 9 years after Darwin's book. Haeckel was drawing a family tree for mankind. He became worried about the gap between non-living and living organisms, so he made one up. To have a complete chart, Haeckel decided to create a series of organisms called Monera. 1869, he claimed to have discovered these organisms in ocean mud samples. He named them Bathybius haeckeli in honor of Haeckel. 1875, John Buchanan revealed Haeckel's discovery was simply calcium sulfate from seawater. It's not a half-living organism. Haeckel refused to admit his fraud and reprinted Monera drawings in his book, The History of Creation. Haeckel's fraud continued with his attempt to prove the only difference between man and ape is that man can speak. He fraudulently created a missing link, Pithecanthropus alalis, which means speechless ape man. He went so far as to have an artist, Gabriel Marx, draw the made-up creature. Haeckel reached an all-time low when he began presenting his biogenetic law, known as the law of recapitulation. Haeckel taught the animal traces the stages of evolution in its embryonic development. This is where it started with Ernst Haeckel. He took a drawing of a dog embryo before it's born and a human embryo before it's born, and he changed them and made them look exactly alike. He lied, okay? Here's the actual photographs on top, or the drawings on top, the accurate drawings, and Haeckel's drawings underneath. No, nothing similar. He made a giant chart with all kinds of different animals and their embryos. Let's see, he made the fish, the pig, the sheep, the human, the turtle, and he made the embryos look just alike. He lied. Here are his drawings on top. Underneath are actual photographs taken in 1998. An embryologist said, well, let's photograph them. We got the capability now of photographing an unborn of each of these critters. When he was tried at Jena University Court and convicted, he confessed. He said, a small percentage of my embryonic drawings are forgeries. Those, namely, for which the observed material is so incomplete or insufficient as to fill in and reconstruct the missing links by hypothesis. Make up a story. He said, I should feel utterly condemned, but everybody else does it. Despite the status as fake, in 1874, proven fake. He still uses it. The human embryo at a very early period can hardly be distinguished from other members of the kingdom. That's in Charles Darwin's book. Charlie, you know it's not true. Why are you saying that? All these frauds were brought to the public attention in 1911, Haeckel's frauds and forgeries. What few people know is the pictures were fake. The deceit was exposed in Haeckel's frauds and forgeries, a book by Azimuth and Ernest Hull. They quoted 19 leading authorities of the day. It clearly appears that Haeckel has in many cases freely invented embryos or reproduced the illustrations given by others in a substantially changed form. Make it look like he wanted to look. It's a sin against scientific truthfulness. Despite the early exposure, Western educators continued using Haeckel's pictures for decades as proof of the theory of evolution. Dr. Michael Richardson, embryologist at St. George Medical School, London, said there's no record that anyone actually checked Haeckel's claims. So he said, I'll do it. He assembled a scientific team that did just that. They photographed the growing embryos of 39 different species. In a 1997 interview in London, The Times, he said, this is one of the worst cases of scientific fraud. It's shocking to find that someone one thought was a great scientist was deliberately misleading. It makes me angry. What Haeckel did was take a human embryo and copy it, pretending that the salamander and the pig and all the others look the same at the same stage of development. They don't, they're fakes. When we see that at a certain stage, the embryos of man and ape, the dog, the rabbit, the pig, the sheep, though recognizable as vertebrates, a backbone, cannot be distinguished from each other. That's what Ernst Haeckel said. He's lying in 1900. You've known for 25 years you're lying, but he keeps it up. There's Haeckel's fake drawings and the real photographs underneath. This biogenetic law as a proof for evolution is valueless. Biogenetic law has been so deeply rooted, it cannot be weeded out, in spite of having been demonstrated to be wrong. 1969, 100 years later, Science magazine. Surely the biogenetic law is as dead as a doornail, American scientist. 19th century drawings. Haeckel confessed to drawing from memory and was convicted of fraud at the University of Jena. This is from New Scientist magazine. The drawings persist. They're still teaching it today, right now, 2026, 150 years ago, proven wrong. I think it's time to get it out of the book. What do you think, Joseph? 150 years long enough?
That's long enough, Doc.
So I think any tax-funded school or tax-funded museum or science center, any of them in America, should be required to remove this lie from the textbooks, remove this lie from their museum displays if they have it. Many museums still have drawings up in the evidence for evolution. Great book exposing the evidence, so the lies about the gill slits. Let's see. Countering revisionism, Ernst Haeckel, fraud. So Darwin's book came out 1859. 1869, Haeckel faked his drawings because 10 years later they didn't have evidence. Haeckel was convicted of fraud 1875. Okay, it's proven wrong. Get it out, get rid of it. Nope, still in Holt biology textbook. Holt's one of the top 4 publishers in America. How many textbooks do I have here? 100? A bunch. Yeah, okay. It shared features in the young embryos that suggest evolution from a distant common ancestor. Glencoe biology, one of the top 4. Glencoe biology. Gill slits on the human embryo. Tim Barra still teaching it after it's proven wrong. Who's this? Kenneth Miller, Catholic teacher up in Rhode Island. Kenneth, I'll debate you anytime. Call, please, okay? You're still telling a lie to your students, and you should know that. Kenneth Miller, here it is, Finding Darwin's God. Still teaching evolution. He said that's as much a fact as gravity. Science Plus, Holt Biology, another major publisher. The presence of gills and tails is evidence for evolution. By the early stages, these structures are present in reptiles, birds, and even humans. They're using Haeckel's fake drawings. It's not true. Rachel Taylor, high school teacher in New York City. This is the drawing she's sharing with her students. Biology concepts, still teaching gill slits. Discover Biology, I forget who published that one. Anyway, I got them all right here. Come take a look. Joseph, I think it'd be reasonable to require anybody receiving tax funding remove that from their textbooks. So people say, Hovind, what are you trying to do? Well, I'm trying to defend the Bible, trying to get people saved, and trying to strengthen your faith in the Word of God. And I think these lies ought to get out of the books. It's about time.
First question, Doc.
Okay?
What are you going to replace it all with?
So if you find a math book that said 2 + 2 is 5, and I would like to get that out, I've got to replace it? Yeah. I don't need to replace it at all. That's what that one atheist said. I couldn't believe it in the debate. I went through about 20 lies like this one. And he said, folks, Mr. Hovind's right. These things are not true. But what are you going to replace it with? First place, the students would love it if the biology book were 20% shorter to learn in a semester. Okay? Learn science. The fact is, dogs produce dogs. That is a fact millions of people can testify to. It is not a fact that dogs came from an amoeba. That is not a fact. That is a religion. You believe that. And I admire your faith, but it's not science. This chart is a propaganda poster and nothing more. Okay, any more questions? Zircon crystals. We have very clear evidence to see what changed over time. Really. That battle guy. Anime? A cartoon? You watch too many cartoons, I can say right now. No. There's several long articles on ICR.org about zircon crystals. You cannot date a crystal to billions of years old. Explain to me how that works, okay? Tell you what, call in for a debate, make the title on zircon crystals. I'll get all my slides together on that, and we'll make that just, okay, that animal cartoon guy would like to have a debate on the topic. But for now, I suggest you go to icr.org, learn the truth before you come into a debate, because you're going to come in unarmed. To your social media guy, I got a lineup for Flat Earth debate. Give it to MC Toon. Okay, I got other dragons to slay. I don't have time. Facebook is down, so many people can't watch this show. Facebook worldwide is down, or just ours?
Everywhere. That's why I was having problems connecting.
Oh, that's right. Sign up for other ones. We got around all these different channels. Sign up for all of them. Love your teachings. Would greatly like to meet you. Well, come on, hatchet. We got a couple of hatchets here already, and a couple of axes, and we like chainsaws better. But Michael, why are Christians so divided on whether you can lose your salvation or not? Because they don't listen to me. That's why. No, I'm kidding. If you could lose it, everybody would lose it every day. Back to that question. Bring that back up. I think some people like to teach the idea you can lose your salvation because they want to control other Christians and tell them, if you don't obey my rules, A, B, C, Sabbath or whatever, if you don't do it like I think it should be done, you're going to hell. It's a control thing, I suspect, like the Pharisees did.
I lost the first part of this, but it was the Bible is not for everyone. Only his children understand it.
Well, the Bible is for everyone, but certain parts of it can only be understood if you have the Spirit dwelling within you. So if you're not one of God's children, you're going to puzzle over what does that mean. When you get the Holy Spirit living in you, then He guides you into all truth. Scientific community debunked Piltdown. That's about time. We'll debunk the rest of them then.
I think he's doing that. Science is great because it self-corrects.
Science is self-correcting? Okay, correct the gill slits one. It's been 150 years now. I think that's long enough. Would you admit they have not corrected that one yet? And they should. Send another text in. Yes, Mr. Hovind, you're right. We should debunk that one. I'll help. Go ahead, send. I'll type it up for you. So if a day to God is 1,000 years to us, does that mean it took 6,000 years? No, because the trees were made on day 3 and the sun on day 4. It has to be one day. The animals to pollinate the plants and stuff were made on day 5 and 6. So no. Plus later God said, I made everything in Exodus 20:11, 10 Commandments. God said, I made everything in 6 days, so you can take 6 days and have a day off. He didn't say take 6,000 years, work 6,000 years and then finally get a break. So no, that the day with the Lord is as 1,000 years is symbolic, I think, of the whole universe. I mean, of all of world history going to take place in 7,000 years. 4,000 BC was the creation, roughly. Jesus came 2,000 years ago. Here we are now. So it's been about 6,000 years from the creation. And there's a 1,000-year millennium promised. Milli meaning 1,000, like a millipede or millimeter. There's a 1,000-year called the day of the Lord. That's the 7th day, and it's going to be a day of rest. We got 6 days that we've been working and a day of rest. So it's true, the 1,000 years is as a day, and a day's as 1,000 years, but does not apply to the original creation, which was 6 days. Dr. Dino doesn't know what a dinosaur is. Cereal bowl, that's where you get your science, okay.
Well, he's got another one for you. He's not finished.
What a straw man of Arminianism.
I think when you're talking about either predetermination or losing your salvation, that's Arminians believe you can lose your salvation too.
Well, go ahead and lose it then. I still remember your interview with the 3 different professors.
Debate, I think.
Yeah, debate at Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University in Jacksonville, Florida. That one clip, where did God come from? Somebody counted up and now has well over 1 billion views on all different platforms. Okay. By the way, call those professors. I'll do it again anytime. Reinhardt, probably his mustache is this big by now. So, the Earth is 6,032 years old. I wouldn't put a date on it that close.
Not till midnight.
Not till midnight, okay. What was the purpose of the tree of life if there wasn't death before the fall? A question's been batted around theological circles for thousands of years.
Spiritual, maybe.
Yeah, no, I don't have a quick answer for that one.
And TikTok, they're battling back and forth on the heat problem. You just want to address address that real quick? The alleged heat problem.
Well, when it rains, it releases heat. It's called latent heat of condensation. You can look it up. So it's a well-known physical science phenomena, and I taught physical science 15 years. When it rains, it releases the heat. Because when you add heat to water, it turns to vapor, steam. When it turns back to water, it releases that heat. Okay, it's real simple physics. So they say if it rained enough to cover Mount Everest, it would heat the world and cook everything. Well, first place, Mount Everest wasn't there until after the flood. Secondly, it didn't rain enough to cover Mount Everest. Most of the water came from inside the earth. It rained 40 days, but the water kept coming up for 5 months. Read the Bible carefully. Secondly, when the air before the flood was compressed around the earth, I believe by the crystal canopy, it would be maybe down to 10 miles of air. When that shattered the canopy, when the flood started and the fountains of the deep broke open, the canopy would disappear, be sucked to the North and South Pole, the ice crystals, and the air would expand. When air expands, it absorbs heat. Get a can of hairspray or paint or anything and spray it. Just hold the button down. It gets cold in your hand. That's how an air conditioner works. You compress the gas, and then you spray it out in an air conditioner. They all work that way. That absorbs the heat. So not a problem at all. There is no heat problem. But see, they're so desperate to make a problem for the creation story, they don't even think about the problems of their story, that we all came from a dot of nothing. Atom, the whole universe fit in a dot smaller than an atom. You don't see a problem with that? How do they not get it, brother?
They don't get it at all.
I like making fun of them, though. Sweetly in Christian love. Okay, Tyler. Zircon crystals don't form in the presence of lead. Any lead in a zircon crystal comes from uranium. Half-life of 704 million years. You're sure of that, Tyler? Read the articles on icr.org. They've got several great technical articles. They got them. So it's not possible for God to make some lead and some zircon. It has to be all. Sounds like a problem. You don't know what the heat problem is. I think I just addressed it. Tell you what, go back to your cereal bowl. Try a different kind of cereal, maybe. Some of those, it's obvious, some of the cereals you eat today destroy brain cells. Okay, sounds great. Tonight, 7 o'clock, we'll have open mic, questions, answers. Tell your atheist friends, call in. Look, if you've got some evidence for evolution, show me. Otherwise, stop lying about it. Stop claiming you have evidence. How could any fossil count as evidence? How? All you know is it died. The really good evidence of flood and rapid burial. How do you get a fish fossil preserved so perfectly? Still see the ribs, the fins? How can a fish be buried and preserved? Does that happen today? Do fish that die today get preserved like that, or do they get eaten by scavengers before they hit the bottom? Yeah. Okay. No more?
No.
It's so fun, Joseph. I love doing it. But, all right. I got a tour to give of a bunch of Russians here.
Yes.
Hope they're not here to spy us out and nuke us or something. I don't think so.
I think we're okay.
I think we're okay.